What if I told you there's a game so insanely realistic it made players feel sick? No joke, these graphics are so lifelike they blur the line between digital and reality. But that's just the beginning. Today, we're diving into 10 games with the most jaw-dropping visuals ever made. From cinematic lighting to hyper-detailed environments, these titles aren't just pretty, they're next level. And trust me, number one on this list might just break your brain. Before we even jump into the list, there's something you need to see. It's not technically a game, but it might just be the most mind-blowing thing you've ever watched on a screen. It's called the Enemies Unity demo. And yeah, it's just a 2-minute tech showcase. But the moment it starts playing, you'll swear you're watching real-life footage. The lighting, the skin, the movement, everything looks photorealistic. You've got this woman sitting at a table playing chess, while all kinds of trippy stuff happens around her. But the craziest part? None of it's real. Every single frame is rendered in real time using the Unity engine. We're not talking about pre-rendered cinematics. This is raw, live 3D rendering, just like what happens in actual gameplay. Now here's where things get wild. Her eyes dilate with the light. You can literally see pores on her skin. Her lips, her tongue, even the tiny creases on her hands. It's all been modeled with an absurd level of precision. It's like they scanned a real human and dropped her into a digital world. The level of fidelity we're seeing in this demo is basically a sneak peek into the future of gaming. We're getting dangerously close to reaching that uncanny valley where the line between virtual and real completely disappears.
Lower themselves and pick it up.
Let's start with one of the most talked about games in recent memory, Black Myth: Wukong. This game looks like someone took ancient legends, mixed them with a splash of dark fantasy, and brought the whole thing to life with next-gen visuals. The environments are just insane. Dense forests dripping with fog, massive temples half swallowed by time, cliffs that stretch into the clouds. It all feels like you could reach out and touch it. But the real magic happens in combat. Every swing, every dodge, every explosive attack is packed with style. You've got swirling particles, dynamic lighting bouncing off armor, and movement so fluid it feels like you're watching a martial arts epic unfold in real time. And that's not even touching on the mythical beasts. These creatures are absolutely wild. Some are covered in shimmering scales that catch the light with every step. Others have fur that reacts to the wind and weather around them. When a spell explodes near a patch of grass, the flames don't just light it up. They spread, flicker, and die out like they actually have weight. Water doesn't just splash. It flows around your character's legs in a way that responds to their movement and direction. And during boss fights, the world bends to the scale of the moment. Debris flies, trees sway from shockwaves, and the lighting shifts with each major attack, casting flickering shadows across the battlefield. The attention to detail is ridiculous. Even during the most chaotic battles, you'll catch yourself stopping just to soak in the art direction.
The writer of these pages knows what will happen, because they're behind this.
Next up is Alan Wake 2, a game that doesn't just aim to scare you, it wants to trap you inside a waking nightmare. This isn't your typical jump scare fest. It's a slow, suffocating descent into psychological horror, and the visuals play a massive role in making that happen. From the moment you hit start, the game wraps you in darkness. Not just visually, but emotionally. The lighting system is on another level. Shadows move and twist like they have a mind of their own, hiding threats that may or may not be there. That's the genius of it. Your brain starts filling in the blanks, and the game lets your imagination do the heavy lifting. Every inch of the world feels handcrafted to mess with your head. Dense forests where the trees creak just a little too much. Isolated cabins that feel like someone, or something, is watching from behind the walls. And then you've got these eerie little towns where nothing ever feels quite right. Even the houses seem to hold grudges. What really blows your mind in Alan Wake 2 is how the visuals and gameplay systems blend together to mess with your sense of reality. The game uses something called real-time lighting shifts, where the entire mood of a scene can change in an instant based on what you're doing, or what the game wants you to think is happening. You'll enter a room lit by a single flickering lamp, and then bam, the walls twist, the lights stutter, and suddenly the space looks completely different. It's all seamless, with no loading, no visual pop-ins. Even the reflections in mirrors are rendered with full detail, often showing things that aren't even in the room anymore. Performance-wise, it's a beast. Not gonna lie, it's brutally demanding. This game pushed modern hardware to its limits at launch, so unless your PC's packing some serious power, you're gonna feel the heat. But if your rig can handle it, what you get is one of the most atmospheric and visually intense experiences out there.
Steel coffee!
Forza Horizon 5 is a straight-up a visual masterpiece. Set in a vibrant, larger-than-life version of Mexico, it throws you behind the wheel and into a world that looks so real, you'd swear you could feel the heat bouncing off the asphalt. You're driving through golden deserts, lush jungles, buzzing cities, all packed with a ridiculous amount of detail. The lighting alone is insane. Sunbeams break through clouds, casting dynamic shadows across the landscape. It's the kind of game where you'll find yourself pulling over just to soak in the view. Another thing that really shows off just how far Forza Horizon 5 goes with its visuals is how weather and time of day aren't just cosmetic, they completely transform the vibe of the game. Drive through the same stretch of road at sunrise, and you'll see long shadows stretching across the pavement, but come back during a thunderstorm, and it's a whole different scene. Raindrops slide across the windshield, puddles form on the ground, and the wet asphalt reflects the glowing streetlights like a mirror. But what really pushes it over the edge is the attention to detail in the cars. We're talking reflections that match the environment in real time, scratch marks on the bodywork, dust building up on the tires after a long race, and the physics on another level. Every drift, jump, and crash feels weighty and authentic. You feel the resistance on turns, the crunch of gravel under the wheels, the jolt of landing a big jump. Everything reacts the way you'd expect if you were driving for real. Forza Horizon 5 doesn't just show off graphical power, it makes you feel like you're there, living the moment. When it comes to pushing the boundaries of realism, Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't just a standout, it's in a league of its own. It's a living, breathing world where everything feels handcrafted to the tiniest detail. From the way sunlight cuts through morning fog to the crunch of boots in fresh snow, every inch of this open world feels grounded in reality. The landscapes are insane. You've got snowy peaks, muddy backroads, roaring rivers, and endless plains all stitched together with some of the most seamless transitions in gaming. And it's not just about how it looks, it's about how it reacts. Rain doesn't just fall, it pools in the dirt, horses get dirty and tired, clothes wrinkle, stain, and freeze in the cold. It's all dynamic, and it's all designed to pull you in deeper. But what really blows your mind is how light and weather transform the world in real time. Fog rolls in and softens the horizon. Clouds shift and block sunlight dynamically. And when a storm hits, the whole environment reacts. Lightning flashes across the sky, wind kicks up dust, trees sway violently, and even your character squints and braces against the elements. Also, characters in this world feel like real people. You can walk into a town and watch folks go about their day. Blacksmiths hammering away, kids chasing each other, drunks stumbling out of saloons. And these aren't just background noise, they notice you, talk to you, remember you. It's one of the few games where even the NPCs have stories of their own. And then there's the wildlife. Predators stalk prey, deer flee when they hear a twig snap, birds scatter when you fire a gun. Each animal has its own behavior, and hunting them isn't just about aiming, it's about tracking, reading signs, following trails. The game turns even the quiet moments into something cinematic. Red Dead Redemption 2 doesn't just raise the bar, it sets an entirely new one. Once you've stepped into this world, every other open world starts to feel a little emptier. Hey, real quick, if your jaw's been on the floor like mine, smash that like button. Doesn't even take half a second. Also, don't forget to drop a comment too. Tell me which game impressed you the most, or just scream graphics overload in all caps. That's the kind of stuff that actually helps the algorithm push the video to more gamers like us. Seriously, I love reading what you guys think, and I reply to every single one. And hey, don't just vanish like an unpatched bug. Hit that sub button and stick around, we're just getting started. Ghost of Tsushima isn't just a game. It's a moving painting that you can actually walk through. Set in feudal Japan, every inch of this world is crafted with so much care that it feels like you're living inside a centuries-old scroll brought to life. Rolling fields of flowers dance in the wind, golden sunsets bleed into the horizon, and fog drifts across ancient forests like something out of a dream. The dynamic weather system isn't there just for show either. Storms, rain, and sunlight all play into the mood of your journey. A light drizzle turns reflective puddles into natural mirrors, while thunderclouds cast dramatic shadows over the landscape, making every ridge and tree pop with depth. Leaves scatter across the ground with the wind, reacting in real time to your movement, and mud clings to your armor after a hard-fought battle. Even the wind is part of the experience. It's not just a breeze, it's your compass, subtly guiding you through the story without cluttering the screen with markers or maps. Combat in Ghost of Tsushima feels like art in motion. Every slash of the katana has weight, and the way particles fly off each strike turns battles into choreographed duels. It's cinematic, but never overdone. And when you're not slicing through enemies, the photo mode will pull you in. Players have spent hours capturing shots that look like museum pieces. Horizon Forbidden West is an absolute visual beast that takes open-world design to a whole new level. Every inch of this world feels handcrafted. You're walking through dense jungles, scorching deserts, and crystal-clear coastlines that look like they belong in a travel documentary. Even the smallest details, like dust floating in the sunlight or grass reacting to footsteps, are dialed in with ridiculous precision. One moment, you're riding across a bright savanna, and without a single cut or loading screen, dark storm clouds start rolling in. Thunder cracks in the distance, shadows deepen, and rain begins to pour, soaking everything from Aloy's armor to the leaves around her. But it's not just cosmetic. The lighting dynamically shifts with the atmosphere, casting moody reflections in puddles and diffusing light through mist and fog. But what really steals the show here are the machines. These aren't just cool-looking enemies, they feel like living, breathing creatures. Each one is designed with such care that you start to believe they actually exist in this world. Their animations are fluid, their interactions with the environment feel natural, and the physics behind their movements adds an extra layer of immersion. When one of them stomps through a field or crashes through the ocean, the environment reacts in ways that make everything feel grounded. Then there's Aloy. Her facial expressions, the way her eyes shift, even how her hair moves in the wind, everything is captured with cinematic quality. She doesn't just look real, she feels real, like a character pulled out of a live-action film and dropped straight into a digital world. The level of polish here is insane, and it makes Horizon Forbidden West one of those games that constantly makes you stop and go, wait, how is this even possible? Hellblade 2 doesn't just look good, it pulls you into a psychological trip you're not ready for. Built using Unreal Engine 5 and some of the most advanced tech in gaming, this sequel pushes visual fidelity to a place few games have ever reached. Every frame feels handcrafted, and Senua's face alone is a technical showcase. Her expressions aren't just animations, They're captured with cutting-edge facial scanning that picks up the tiniest twitch in her eyes or tension in her lips. It's like watching a live actor trapped inside a digital world. But it's not just about the characters. The environments are another level entirely. Instead of flat textures pasted over 3D models, the game uses photogrammetry. Real-world surfaces are scanned and turned into insanely detailed models. Rocks, cracks, dirt, even the moss between stones. Everything looks brutally real. The flames cast dynamic shadows that dance across uneven cave walls. Rainfall doesn't just soak the world, it darkens surfaces, makes stone glisten, and creates tiny streams that follow the terrain's natural curves. It's just amazing. And because it's rendered with Nanite, a tech from Unreal Engine 5, you get millions of polygons on screen without your PC catching fire. Though to be fair, some PCs are definitely sweating. But the atmosphere is where Hellblade 2 really hits. The sound design uses binaural audio, meaning voices whisper from every direction, wrapping around you like a hallucination. Pair that with haunting visuals and raw emotion, and you get a game that doesn't just show you a story, it makes you feel every moment deep in your bones.
She is the best of
Were you scared? Well, I didn't even think.
When it comes to raw emotion and visual storytelling, nothing hits quite like The Last of Us Part 2. Especially in its remastered version, this game doesn't just show you a world, it drops you into it and makes you feel everything. The streets are empty, buildings are collapsing, and nature is slowly reclaiming the ruins. But these aren't just backgrounds. Every crack in the wall, every shattered window, every abandoned room tells a silent story of survival and loss. The characters are on a whole different level. The facial animations are so refined that even a single glance or flicker of the eyes can say more than words ever could. Ellie isn't just a digital model. She's a fully realized person, and that emotional weight carries through every step of the journey. From the way her shoulders tighten when she's tense to the way she flinches after a close call, the animation work sells every moment. One of the coolest visual details in The Last of Us Part 2 is how the environment reacts in real time. Rain soaks clothes and forms puddles that mirror the broken world around you. Snow piles up, sticks to Ellie's jacket and crunches underfoot. Mud clings to boots, and blood stains walls after a fight. And then there's the combat, brutal, unforgiving, and real. You hear every crunch and every bullet tear through fabric and flesh. Enemies don't just fall, they react. They scream in pain, crawl for cover, and sometimes call each other by name. It's not there just to shock you. It's there to remind you how real this world feels.
Go, go!
Cyberpunk 2077 with mods isn't just impressive, it's absurd. Night City on its own already feels like a living, breathing place. But once you start layering in community mods, the entire world transforms into a visual masterpiece that pushes your screen to its absolute limits. We're talking ultra-sharp textures, ray-traced reflections bouncing off every neon-lit surface, and atmospheric effects that feel pulled straight out of a sci-fi blockbuster. Puddles reflect glowing billboards with frightening precision. Car windows shimmer with environmental detail. Even NPCs walking down the street look like they've been ripped from a high-budget cinematic. Clothing gets upgraded with textures so intricate you can make out stitching patterns. Buildings gain depth, age, and personality. Street signs that were once generic now show clear, readable text, making the city feel grounded and real. It's like someone took the bones of an already beautiful world and gave it a fresh coat of magic. Combine that with weather effects, like rain soaking the pavement and turning the roads into glowing mirrors, and you've got a level of immersion that rivals any modern film. The density of Night City is unmatched either. The traffic, the pedestrians, the ambient noise, all of it blends together into this chaotic harmony that just pulls you in. There's no filler. Every alleyway hides some little visual surprise. Every corner feels like it was handcrafted to tell a story. And once you dive into it, it's nearly impossible to look away. Now we're finally getting to the game we teased at the beginning. Bodycam isn't just a game. It's a full-on sensory experience that hits different. From the second it starts, it doesn't feel like you're playing something. It feels like you are there. The level of realism is so intense that some players have actually reported getting physically uncomfortable, like their brain couldn't separate the game from reality. What makes it so immersive is the way it mimics real-life body camera footage. The perspective is raw, shaky, and brutally grounded. You're not just watching the chaos, you're inside it. Every alley you walk through, every apartment you clear, looks exactly like a place you've seen in the real world. Cracked walls, flickering lights, rooms left in a hurry. It's like walking through a frozen moment of urban decay. And instead of relying on pre-baked effects, the game uses real-time global illumination and dynamic exposure to mimic how your eyes would actually adjust to sudden brightness or pitch-black darkness. When you walk into a room and swing your flashlight around, the way the shadows crawl across the walls and the light bounces off reflective surfaces feels almost too real. Even small details like light bleeding through bullet holes or flickering from broken neon signs add to the unease. But what really pushes it over the edge is how the world reacts to you. Objects shift naturally when touched. Doors creak open with weight, and shadows move with an eerie realism. Even the ambient noise is on point. Distant sirens, footsteps on wet pavement, buzzing streetlights, it all piles on to create this overwhelming sense of presence. It's one of those rare cases where the tech, the visuals, and the sound design all come together to erase the line between game and reality. And it's wild to think we've reached a point where digital spaces can feel this disturbingly real. Alright, now I gotta know. Did any of these games actually blow your mind, or did I miss your personal favorite? Let me know in the comments. I read and replied to every single one. And hey, if you had fun, hit that like button and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.